Yeah, good morning, everybody. Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's continue from where we were last time. We're looking at the hardware for multiplication. And for that, we said let's observe how the multiplication in binary is carried out. And we said that don't worry about the sign because sign can be added later on. And we are just looking at unsigned numbers. And we are saying that observe this, the typical multiplication. We take out the least significant bit, observe the least significant bit, and then if it is 1, we add the multiplicand to the product. The product is initially 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It's initialized to 0, so we just directly add this multiplicand. In the next step, we right shift the multiplier 1 bit and observe what is the least significant bit. And we find that it is 0, and we left shift the multiplicand. And if it is 0, we don't add anything, it's just zeros. And next step, we again right shift the multiplier and observe the number here. If it is 0, we don't add, and also each time we left shift the multiplicand. And then we again right shift the multiplier and observe what is the least significant bit. And by this time the multiplicand has been shifted. If I show here, the red ones are basically shifting. The multiplicand was shifted 1 bit here. So I added 0 here. This red one indicates it's shifted. Next time it is shifted. And the third time it is shifted, and since it is 1 here, it is added, and finally we add all this and then get the product. Now this is the algorithm. Request you to write the pseudocode for this algorithm. It's not there in the book actually. The pseudocode, how the binary multiplication is carried out, but what we have is a flowchart. We'll just look at the flowchart. But if you have observed this much, as I said, that each time we just look at the rightmost bit here, least significant bit of the multiplier, and based on if it is 1 or 0, we add or don't add, and each time we shift the multiplicand 1 bit. If that much we can observe, then the hardware is clear. So if we keep in this register, the shift register, we keep the multiplicand. And in this shift register, we keep the multiplier. And the result will be 64-bit to 32-bit number multiplication will result in a product which is 64-bit. So here this control circuit does coordinates all these steps. Each time, okay, first time it just adds, observes the right most bit or the least significant bit of the multiplier. And since it is 1 here, in this case, it will enable the ALU for addition and also enable the write onto the product. Initially, product is all zeros. And then the multiplicand will be added to all zeros here. This has 64 zeros in the product. And the multiplicand is also 64-bit, just observe here. And the multiplicand will be on the lower part of this 32-bit. The least significant 32-bit will be the multiplicand. And next step, we shift the multiplicand left 1 bit and multiplier right 1 bit. observe what is there in the least significant bit. That's what the control is, the control circuit. And then if it observes there is a 0, it doesn't do anything, doesn't enable the addition, neither enable the write. And it just again shifts left the multiplicand and shift right the multiplier. So that's the way the multiplication will work. In case anybody has difficulty with this, we can repeat, can explain. But if we observe this long multiplication, it just does the same thing here. And this is the flowchart representation given in the book. The same thing here, that initially the product is all 0, and test the least significant bit of the multiplier. If it is 1, then add to the multiplicand, enable the ALU, add to the multiplicand, and then shift the multiplicand register left 1 bit, shift the multiplier right 1 bit, and continue this. So for each bit here in the 32-bit multiplier, we'll have to shift 32 times. So there will be 32 repetitions here. So again, this is the flowchart, and we can just try with this example here or any other example just to convince how it works. Just take the multiplicand, initially product is all zeros, observe the least significant bit, and then based on whether it is 1 or 0, either add or don't add to the product register, and then left shift the multiplicand, right shift the multiplier, and keep on repeating until all the bits of the multiplier gets adjusted. This is also the example from the book. So here the initial value is we have product initialized to zeros, the product initialized to 0, the multiplier observe the least significant bit and add, then shift left the multiplicand, shift right the multiplier. Look at the next bit is 0, don't do anything. Next one is 0, don't do anything. Last one, okay, the multiplier, okay, this was 0, 0, 1, 1. So these two are 1, and we just added the last two, we did nothing, we just shifted the product. The multiplicand and multiplier we just shifted, that's all. This is the product. It's already formed here in the second step. There are 4 bits in the multiplier, and we have shown 4 steps. Simple enough if I understood the long multiplication. The hardware is simple enough. But that hardware is not really the best that we can do. We can have a optimization of that same hardware. We can reduce the number of registers required. But to look at the optimized multiplier, we must make an important observation. The observation is that shifting the product right 1 bit is equivalent to shifting the multiplicand 1 bit. So this is our simple multiplier where we were doing 2 activities. One was shifting the multiplier right and shifting the multiplicand left. But the observation we have to make is shifting the product right one bit is equivalent to shifting the multiplicand left one bit. If we look at this, if we keep the multiplicand at the same place, but shift the product one bit each time to the right, we will get the same result. That's the important observation we'll have to make. And if we make that observation, then the optimized multiplier is straightforward. If you agree to this observation, that shifting the product right one bit is equivalent to shifting the multiplicand one bit. Now observe, if we do that, both the product and multiplier each time need to be shifted one bit. So in one operation we can do that. So this is our optimized hardware. Our multiplier has vanished. We have put the multiplier in the same product register here. Initially the product is on the most significant bit. The multiplier is in the least significant 32 bits. And we are using a 32-bit ALU. Unlike the non-optimized version where we are using a 64-bit ALU, here we are using a 32-bit ALU, and multiplicand is also 32-bit. Whereas earlier we needed a 64-bit multiplicand. And each time we shift right one bit and we test the multiplicand, and then we decide. So there is a control line which just enables the addition or doesn't add. That's all. So this is a much more elegant multiplier. Takes less storage, less number of steps, in the sense that we don't have a separate left shift and right shift. We just do one right shift on this shift register, and that's good enough. So this is the optimized multiplier. If you are okay with this, we'll look at division. The same thing is there on the book, but the book does not describe so much, as I was saying last class. So initially the product is on the left side, all zeros, and the multiplier is on the right side. And here it takes a number of cycles for the multiplier to complete multiplication. One cycle per partial product addition. Now let's look at a fast multiplier. The one that we looked at was optimized multiplier, which reduced the number of storage, number of shift register, size of the shift register, size of the ALU, the adder. Now let's look at a fast multiplier, which will do the multiplication in less number of cycles. The earlier multiplication, the one that we already seen, for a 32-bit multiplication, if the multiplier has 32 bits, then it will take 32 cycles. If it is 64-bit multiplication, it will take 64 cycles, each bit one cycle. But now let's look at this fast multiplier. If you observe here, we have 32 of the 32-bit multipliers at the top. There are 32 of them. And the last one here is one 32-bit. The second one is 8 32-bit adders, and so on. And here, the first one we multiplier, the least significant of the multiplier, we multiply with the multiplicand, and the second least significant bit of the multiplier we multiply by multiplicand. Multiplication is nothing because it is either 1 or 0. So either we add multiplicand itself or we add zeros. If the multiplier, 0th bit of the multiplier, least significant bit is 0, then we just have zeros here. Otherwise, if the multiplier 0th bit is 1, then we have the multiplicand itself. And for the okay, so there are for each one, so this is 0th bit and for bit 1, this is 2, 3. Okay, the first one will have 16 32-bit register adders, 16 32-bit adders, because it is adding the multiplicand into multiplier 0 and multiplicand in multiplier 1. Second one is multiplier 2, multiplier 3, and the last one is 31 and 32. So there are 16 of these 32-bit register. Now the results here are input to the second level of adders. Each one is 32-bit adder. And the last one, there is a single one here. And here we are taking out the product. Product 0th bit, 1 bit, etc. But this diagram itself is not so convincing how it works. We'll look at another diagram. And not only that, this is very fast. It can be easily pipelined, means that we don't need that many adders. We can reduce the hardware resource here. Even though number of adders are appearing to be large, we can reduce them by pipelining. Now, to understand how it works, let's look at the diagram here. And let's make some observations. See here, this is the multiplicand M0, capital M0, M1, M2, M3. And the multiplier is small m0, m1, m2, m3. Now, for the product, the least significant bit of the product is only A0. So that means this is the least significant bit of M0 into M1, M2, M3, M0, right? M0, if it is 0, then this color row is zeros and A0 will be 0. And if M0 is 1, then this will be M0. A0 is equal to capital M0. So that will be the product. Now the second row is multiplier 1. That is the second least significant bit of the multiplier into multiplicand. If the second least significant bit of the multiplier is 0, then this row will be all zeros. If the second least significant of the multiplier is 1, then this will be the multiplicand itself. Now, if we make that observation, then we have this algorithm for fast addition that A0 is directly here. This is the addition of A1 and B0. This is the addition of A2, B1, C0 is P2. A3, B2, C1, D0 is P3. And B3, C2, D1 is P4, and so on. So that's exactly what we have done here. We have, for the first least significant bit, we have just taken out, depending on the whether the multiplier least significant bit of the multiplier is 0 or 1, just taken out either the least significant bit of the multiplicand or 0. Similarly, the second least significant bit of the product, and here the most significant bit of the product, and so on. So based on that simple observation, we have got it. Now I have a question to ask. If everybody has understood it, just tell me if you are not understood.
Can you explain that?
Shall I explain once again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So observe here that in the top row here, there are 16 32-bit adders. And look at this least significant adder here. It's a 32-bit adder. What it does is, the 0th bit or the least significant bit of the multiplier is multiplied with multiplicand. What it means is that if the multiplier least significant is 0, we have all zeros input here. And the 0th bit of the product will be 0. On the other hand, if the least significant bit of the multiplier is 1, then we have only the multiplicand here. The input to this is the multiplicand. And we are taking out the least significant bit of the multiplicand to form the product 0. So this will be the least significant bit of the multiplicand itself. Now, after adding this, that the second least significant bit of the multiplier and multiplicand and the 0th bit of the multiplier into multiplicand, we take out the least significant bit that forms the second least significant bit of the product, and so on. And here we are getting 32 bits. This is a 32-bit adder. So we are getting 32 bits. 16 to 47 we are getting by the last adder. So there are 16 adders at the top, then 8 adders in down there, 4, 2, and finally 1. And to understand why it is so, we look at this and make observation. Our observation is that the 0th bit of the product is obtained directly as A0, and A0 is nothing but multiplier 0 bit into multiplicand. That means if the multiplier 0th bit is 0, then A0, A1, A2, A3 are all zeros. If the multiplier 0th bit is 1, then it is the multiplicand itself. So P0 is equal to 0 if the multiplier 0th bit is 0. P0 is capital M0 if M multiplier 0th bit is 1. Similarly, P1 is obtained by adding multiplier 0 into multiplicand and multiplier 1 to multiplicand. We add these two and take the least significant bit here. The least significant bit of this addition. See, this A0 we don't add actually. We just add this much. 0 is here. So we just add these 32 bit. Okay, whatever this number, 4 bit. We put 0 here and add this and add this. And take A1 B0 addition that forms P1. And then 3 additions here. That is the result of these 2 addition plus this addition. Multiplier 2 into multiplicand, that gives P2, and so on. So if we observe this on this diagram, then the hardware is simple. Now let me just ask one question here. That 2 questions actually. That how many 32-bit adders do we need for a 32-bit multiplication? And so let me just ask that question first. So let me just ask randomly. Jagriti Agarwal, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So can you answer this question? For this fast multiplier, for 32-bit multiplication, 32-bit number multiplication, how many 32-bit adders do we need? Can you answer, Jagriti?
So calculating.
Doesn't need much calculation actually. Let me also simultaneously ask Nancy Agrawal. Are you there, Nancy? Nancy, are you there? Okay, let me just ask Divyans Singh. Dibyans, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you give this answer? By the time Jagriti calculates, can you give this answer that how many 32-bit adders are needed for multiplying two 32-bit numbers using this fast multiplier?
So I think after first layer 31.
Okay, very good. So Divyans, very good. 31. 16 plus 8 plus 4. So that is Divyans Singh. Okay, noted down. Okay, now the next question is that how many steps are needed? How many cycles? So let me just ask this to randomly to another student. Anil Sinde, are you there? Anil? Okay. Ravi Prakash Prasad, are you there? Ravi Prakash Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you answer my question that how many cycles are needed in this?
So 5 cycles.
Very good. Very good. So I hope everybody gets that. 5 cycles. So Ravi Prasad. Okay, noted down. Very good. So let's proceed. In the MIPS programs that we wrote, we did not do multiplication actually. None of our programs had multiplication, but if we have to do multiplication, we have to observe this, that the operands are 32-bit, but the result is 64-bit. And we don't have a 64-bit register. So where is the result stored? The result is stored by two registers we never used, HIE and LO. Implicitly, whenever you do multiplication, there will be HIE and LO register whose only purpose is to store the result of multiplication. We have this instruction which takes two operands, RS and RT, both are 32-bit. Mult is signed multiplication and mult unsigned also is there. And the result will be placed in high and low registers. The high will have the upper 32-bit and low will have the lower 32-bit. And once we form the result after multiplication, we can get them. If we need the upper 32-bit, we will write MFHI, move from high to RD, some destination register. If we need the lower 32 bits, we will write move from low, MFLO, RD. But if we are multiplying only small numbers, like let's say 15 into 30 and so on, only small numbers, we know that the upper bits will be not useful. So we can use this instruction, MUL, RSRT are the two operand and result in RD, and RD is the 32-bit which has the least significant bit. So for small number typical multiplication, we use this instruction where we don't bother about the higher bits of the result. But if our dealing with large numbers like scientific programs and so on, we would use the mult and mult u, and we'll have to manipulate using the high and low registers. The multiplication is rather straightforward actually, if you think of both the multiplication and the optimized multiplier, the fast multiplier, and so on. But division is slightly more involved. Let's look at it.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please. Yes.
Sir, I'm sorry, can we move to the fast multiplication slide?
Yes.
So, sir, here we are not taking into account that we also need shifting, right?
Okay, so you are saying that in our multiplication, there was some way that we had this thing that we are taking only the 3 bits here and putting 0 here, etc. Right? Is that is your question?
Yes, sir.
Huh. So if that is the question, then see here, it is for all of these, we are ignoring the least significant bit and putting 0 here so that we can hardware here. Not shown here, not shown here, but that small little arrangement can be done here itself. We don't need any shift registers here. Small arrangement are done here that have taken out the product 0, but put a 0 on the most significant bit and so on. That small manipulation we have done here without showing that here. It would be difficult to show that here. But we don't need any shift registers.
Right, sir. Okay, sir.
So the division is slightly more involved. We need to pay slightly more attention here. The first thing is, again, we are using the long division approach. And if the terminologies are questioned, if you are not forgotten your school maths, then we have the dividend, that's the number we are trying to divide. Divisor is the one with which we are trying to divide. And then we have the quotient and the remainder. These two are the result, the quotient and the remainder. And in the long division approach, we first observe the divisor, we write here in the most significant bits of the dividend and subtract and observe, and we take one bit down here actually and observe if this is less than the divisor or not. If it is not, and once we subtract, we put a 1 here on the quotient, and if it is less than the divisor, then we put a 0 here and get another bit down here. And still it is less than the divisor, we put another 0 and get that down here. And then finally subtract it, no more bit to get down, and that forms our remainder and we have our quotient. That works well when we are dividing by hand. But when we are dividing by hardware, this is difficult actually, because to check whether a number is less than another number is another hardware required. We have to subtract and then check and then get another number down and so on. What we do is restoring division. Irrespective of whether it is less or not, we subtract and then see the result. If it is negative, we add it back. So actually, we have a quiz coming up today, and that's of 20-minute duration. So I think we'll be short of time on the quiz. So we'll look at the division in the next class. We'll start from here and we'll have the quiz. Jyoti, are we ready for the quiz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So everybody, please look at your quiz today, and as soon as the prompt is given, please submit. See, this is a distance mode we are trying to manage, and there are some shortcomings of the team software that if you don't really submit and the time passes, it will not register anything. So don't wait till last minute. As soon as the prompt comes from the TS, please submit. Don't delay. So we'll stop here. We'll continue from this point in the next class. Thank you.